Hello, everyone. Jonathan with Excel Bets, and we have Week 4 NFL FPI betting model update here. I have pulled up the latest ESPN Football Power Index through Week 3, so you can see the Bills leading the way with a 7.1 FPI with the trend up, all the way down to the Dolphins at minus 7.3 with the 3 ranking trend down, and all the teams in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to update the model, find some sports betting for week 4 of the NFL using this information here. We'll look at spread, money line, and totals. So hopefully you're excited and that you've been doing well so far on the NFL betting landscape for 2024 season. With that, let's flip over to to Excel and update our Power Query and get to placing some bets. All right, I'm just going to clear out this table here. I have another video where I showed you how you can create a Power Query. And we're just going to do a quick refresh here. And it's going to pull in that information we saw on ESPN, so we don't have to actually do anything ourselves. Pretty slick data query pull here. So we've got our Bills and the Dolphins as top and bottom, so we know that's all accurate. And then from there, we can start looking at our landscape for week 4. Just going to pull it up on another screen. So we got our Thursday night game on 9/26. I like to just organize this by day just so I know what I'm looking at. So we got the Cowboys and the Giants. It's our first game of the week. FPI 0, flat for Cowboys. That means they're an average team. And then the Giants minus 4.4, so below average. Offensive, defensive rankings here. And then home or away with a home field advantage 1.59% addition to the Giants. So without any pluses or minus for home field, it's 4.4 minus 4.4. And then you add in your home field advantage. Cowboys a 3-point favorite or a field goal. And from there, we'll do our line shopping off that value. I like to use Sportsbook Review. Pull that over. So you can see all the lines right now. Have it the Giants over a field goal underdog, so 4.5. So based on that, we know there's a high likelihood we'll have some EV bets here. So what I built up here is put in our spreads. This allows us to do some line shopping. And we are getting 4.5 offered on sports books. So the fair odds would be minus 126. I can see that FanDuel right now is giving us, this would be a spread bet on FanDuel. We're getting minus 105 at that 4.5. So this is a nice EV bet here, almost a 9% EV bet, because the model's saying that they're only a 4.4 underdog without a home field advantage. You add on a home field advantage of 1.59, which is actually a pretty conservative home field advantage. Gets us to a spread value of +3. So they should lose by a field goal, but we're saying that we get coverage up to 4.5 points. So that is an EV bet. And we should wager $23.69 using a Kelly adjustment factor of 0.25 with an account value of 1,000. So there's your first EV bet for week 4, the Giants to cover the spread. Again, we have an implied win percentage of 55.84 versus a sportsbook implied win percentage of 51.22. Anytime your implied win percentage is greater than the sportsbook win percentage, that's an EV bet because you get paid out more by the sportsbook when the win percentage is lower. That's how to read that. Let's keep going down. We got the Steelers. That's our second game. That's on Sunday. Let's see what we got here. And that is versus the Colts. Okay, so this is our spread value. So Steelers a half-point favorite. All the sports books are saying that they are 1.5 or 2-point favorites. So that means that we want to take the underdog, the Colts. So with that, let's go plug in the numbers, Indianapolis Colts. And we are getting 1.5 or 2 on the sports books. Let me pull that over just so you can see what I'm looking at. So 1.5 or 2 underdog spread for the Colts. So let's just see what makes the most sense. We got 1.5 on FanDuel again at minus 105. You can see the fair odds of that would be minus 108. And I'm using this half point spread calculator, 100% free. Done a video on it, and there's a link for it as well. So grab that if you don't have it already. And then let's see what our break even would be on the 2. So both the 2 and the 1.5 would be EV bets. So there's a second bet. So if you want to do we got plus 1.5 on FanDuel. Let's plug this in here. So it's not quite as favorable as the Giants spread, but another EV bet. So about $4 bet for the Colts at that 1.5 value. And then let's see Caesars. I can type. So Caesars is giving us minus 110, but that's at 2. And so there's another EV bet, 2.74. We look for anything longer than minus 112, we're getting minus 110. So there's another EV bet for you. The Colts either at that 1.5 or 2 spread. And let's just so you can see some math here. So 1.5, but let's say that's at minus 110 versus the 105. So there'd be no bet there. So getting that FanDuel, that minus 105 on the 1.5 spread is an EV bet. So this is why line shopping is so critical. Pull this over here just so you can see it. Make sure you have multiple sports books to make this profitable in the long run for you. So this plus 1.5, minus 105 on FanDuel, EV bet. BetMGM plus 1.5, minus 110, not an EV bet. Then we just saw the Caesars plus 2 at minus 110, EV bet. And then DraftKings at minus 108, that would even be more favorable. So having multiple sports books to be able to do that line shopping makes a difference. So $5 bet if you were to do that DraftKings at minus 108. So 2 EV bets for you. A couple ways to slice them as well. We got the Vikings and the Packers. This is a big game for week 4. All right, so we're looking for minus 4.5 favorite for the Packers. And I'm seeing them at minus 2.5 across the board. So that means that the Vikings are plus 2.5 underdogs. So what that means for me and looking at this is, and you'll get faster as you do this, is we're saying the Packers should win by 4.5 points. All the sports books are saying they should only win by 2.5. So we want to go line shopping with our Packers as the favorite. And we are getting minus 2.5. So you put in minus 2.5 versus the 4.5, which is the fair spread, which is what we calculated down here. So we're looking for minus 143 or longer odds. Definitely have some big bets here that we can place. Everybody's at minus 115. So we'll do DraftKings at minus 115, 28.55 bet. So 10% EV for the Packers to cover that 2.5 spread. So basically they're going to win by a field goal or more. We are pretty confident in that. That's a good bet to place. Jags, Texans, just moving down the list here. 6 and 6.5 on the sports books. We're saying Texans are a little bit less strong than that. So let's see what we can do for the Jaguars to cover that spread. They're only a 5.5 underdogs. Sports books are saying they're 6. So we plug in 6 here, minus 106. We do not have any lines longer than that. We do have FanDuel at 6.5, but it's minus 120. So that's not an EV bet. So nothing to place on the Jags Texans. Let's keep going down. Falcons, Saints. So minus 0.5. All right, here's a good bet to place as well. So we're saying that the Saints are a slight favorite whenever everyone else, all the sports books are saying right now that the Falcons are 1.5 or 2 point favorite. So we'll go ahead and plug in our Saints up here. So we're saying that they should win by half a point. Right now I'm seeing 1.5 on FanDuel. So we'll go Saints up here. This is FanDuel. It's giving us minus 105 at plus 1.5. So a $4.50 wager there. Our fair odds were minus 109. We're getting minus 105. So there's an EV bet to place for the Saints to cover the spread. Let's check out the Rams and the Bears. Okay, we've got the Rams as a 1-point favorite. Sportsbooks, Caesars has given us +3 on the Rams, so there's a good bet to place. Let's plug that in. 3, so we need anything longer than minus 137. We're getting minus 110 on Caesars. So a $28 bet there, 10.44% EV. So that's our best bet we've seen so far. So definitely liking the Rams to a way to cover that spread. And we'll keep going down. We've got the Eagles and Tampa Bay. So we've got Eagles as a 4-point favorite. Sportsbooks are giving us minus 2.5 favorite. So Eagles to cover that field goal. Let's see what we got here. So we're putting a minus 2.5. This is the line right now by all the sportsbooks. So we need something longer than minus 138. We've got, let's see, who's offering the best line. We've got Caesars again, minus 2.5-point spread, minus 110. So $30 bet, 10.5% EV bet. So another good bet to place there. I'm just going down the list. You can see that minus 2.5 is offered by all sports books. FPI models saying that Eagles are actually more like a 4-point favorite. So that's your first starting point, is when the spread values are different. And then from there, you do your line shopping to see if it's actually an EV bet based on the odds that are being offered to you. So it's 2 parts to it. But we're placing a lot of bets here pretty quickly. All right, so next one is the Bengals as a 5.5 favorite. All the lines right now have it at 4.5. So let's see how that looks. Minus 4.5. So we're looking for anything longer than minus 107. All sports books are giving us minus 110 odds, so that would not be a bet to place. So we'll leave the Bengals Panthers alone for now. Broncos and Jets. 10-point favorite for the Jets. And we're getting minus 7, so a touchdown favorite. So it should be a good bet here for the Jets to cover that spread. So we're saying that they are a 10-point, but sportsbooks are giving us minus 7, so we're looking for minus 126. And we've got, it's like minus 115 right now on DraftKings is the best line. So 4.38% EV bet, so $12.60. So another good bet to place. All right, so that's some really good spread value bets right there. I'm going to flip over and do some totals because I think I've done spreads quite a lot. So I think you got a flavor of how that works. And what's really good about Sportsbook Review, up at the top, you can toggle between your spread, your money line, and your totals. So I've now toggled over to totals. And it's the same process where we've got our total values here. So 44, looks like all Sportsbook are offering 44. We do have FanDuel at 43.5. So let's just see what that would look like. Type in the Giants here. So that'd be the under 44, and we're getting 43.5 at minus 104. So no EV bet there. And then if we were to do the Cowboys at 43.5, we're looking for minus 108. We're getting minus 118. So no EV bets on the totals for the first game. Steelers, everyone has 40. We do have a 39.5 minus 115 on FanDuel. So let's plug that in here. So we take the over 39.5, looking for minus 114 or longer. We're getting minus 115, so no EV bet there. Keep going down. Vikings, Packers, 44.5. Everybody has that at 43.5. So we would want to take the over. because we think it should be a 44.5 point total. Everyone else is saying it's 43.5. So our break even would be minus 116. All right, pull this over. So we got an EV bet we'll plug in for our totals. 43.5. Everyone's at minus 110. So we will take the over on the Vikings game. Change that to total. We've got FanDuel minus 110. So $6.82 for the Vikings-Packers game to go over that 43.5. We think it's actually going to be 44.5. So same logic as the spread, just looking at it from over-under versus underdog and favorite. So the Jags, everyone's at 45 or 45.5. So we want to take the under now because we think it's only going to be a 44-point game. So when you do that, you'll just type in the Texans here, designate that's the under. We are saying that 45.5, we're getting minus 108 on DraftKings right now. Minus 108, so $11.73. So 4.35% EV bet there on the Texans, meaning the under, because the model's saying 44 should be the line. Sportsbooks are giving us 45.5, so we want to take the under of that. We don't think the total is going to hit that 45.5. That's how to do your over-unders. And then we can go flip through our money lines as well. I haven't hit on that, so this is the win percentage here, and I'm using a spread conversion table. Take these and convert them to win percentage, and then convert that to American odds. So we'll do our line shopping off that implied money line odds. And we'll look at Sportsbook Review on the money line tab now. So plus 188 for the Giants versus we want longer odds than 147. So that should be a nice bet for us. So we'll take the Giants here. Change this to money line. And that was on FanDuel that we're getting plus 188. So $22.13. We think the Giants have a 40.5% chance of winning. Sportsbook saying they only have a 34.72% chance. So anytime your implied win percent is greater than the sportsbook 1%, that's your EV bet. That one's pretty clear with the money line. So nice bet to place here. We'll flip through here looking at the Steelers Colts. So we've got another one. We've got the Colts here. FanDuel again, plus 114. So we get plus 114 odds. We're looking for anything longer than plus 103. So nice EV bet for the Colts to win, $12 on that. And the next one, we've got the reverse of, instead of some underdogs, we've got a favorite. So the Packers, we're looking for anything minus 207 or longer. And you can change this max filter here, plus 225. It's just whatever you want to do to filter out some of the big underdogs. I would definitely avoid the Jets Broncos money line bet. There's just too much. It's anything that I would say is minus 500. I mean, that's just not a bet you'd want to be looking at. I like to look around that 200 underdog or shorter bets. I don't like to go longer than plus 200-ish. For NFL, you can, professional sports, there's a little bit more leeway there, but I would say anything in the 500s is a money line bet I'd want to avoid. But I digress. Let's look at this Vikings Packers. Minus 207 or longer. We're getting minus 135 on BetMGM. That's a great EV bet here. Minus 135, 58.48. So 17% EV bet. So big wager there for the Packers to win at home versus the Vikings. You can see break-even odds is minus 207. We're getting minus 135 on BetMGM and DraftKings. So that's a great money line bet to place. And that's how to do it. That's how you can just go through and do the rest. I mean, you can see with this FPI model, we're getting a lot of bets. There's no guarantee that this is going to be profitable in the long run. But with any betting model, if you do your line shopping, have a systematic approach of identifying EV bets, your chances are stacked quite in your favor to win in the long run. So I hope you like this video. Please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be doing more videos in the future. Play some of these EV bets I just outlined for you. If you want this model, I'll have a link in the description. You can pick it up. Otherwise, best of luck with your sports betting and